Hmm. It's hard to believe it's been over a week since Power of the Doctor, and it's hard to believe it's November. I love it. It's 43 degrees out here this morning, and by the time we get out, it's going to be in the 70s. You have to love this weather. I'm not kidding. I remember back in the day, we'd be knee deep in snow, roads would be covered with ice. You got to pray that the salt truck ran before you left the house. I love it. But like I said, we could argue about weather all day, all that stuff. People are, pushing this, pushing that. If you do this, the weather's going to get better. It's not going to happen. Um, if Mother Earth wants rid of us, she can turn up the heat all she wants, because you could turn off everything on this planet tomorrow and it ain't going to do no good, because I don't think it had anything to do with it. But that's my opinion. And the opinions vary. Now, as I told you all yesterday regarding Doctor Who, I don't have much on it because remember, the shooting's supposed to be starting this month, but like I said, nobody's heard anything yet. I wonder if there's been any leaks. I better go run over that one channel, Somebody, I heard, guys, you might, listen in. I heard RTD was at like Rothlock today, and he took a leak. Um, uh, no, BMW is fine. I'm sitting in it right now. Yeah, there's this, like I said, it's not foggy as it could normally be out here, but okay, now, as some of you may have heard, Doctor Who consolidated was over 5 million, 5.3 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that made it the second most watched program on the day, fifth most watched of the week for Power of the Doctor. The only thing that beat it was the Strictly Come Butt Licking reveal show, or whatever that thing is, where they. And that's a reality show. It always has been. And there's no way you're going to beat it, especially when they're doing, you know, big things like some type of, reveal, or, standings or whatever, because why was Ashad more vicious? Ashad was all the way, but not quite converted. And it was something we saw happened back in, give me a minute. If you run back to the Sixth Doctor era, I believe it was Attack of the Cybermen. If I remember correctly, it was kind of sort of a side effect. You had those who didn't quite make through cyber conversion. Ashad didn't quite make it all the way through, as far as I could tell. Plus, you did see more aggressive Cybermen in that episode. For once, we had Cybermen giving dialogue that didn't involve delete or upgrade or anything like that. Yeah, so if you watch Attack of the Cybermen, yeah, you kind of sort of see that aggression, in the people that were in there. Also, the cyber controller got fat. I can't remember why, but he made me look like a, athlete. I don't know. I don't like to fat shame people, but well, that idea is always open. It depends on what direction RTD is going to go, and it doesn't matter which direction RTD is going to go. These guys out there are still going to whine and bitch and complain, because nothing can be good enough for them. Nothing is going to fit the bill. Come on, you had the Boley and I can't remember who else out there saying the next Doctor had to be a white male, and They should just be happy with the fact they went male again. Because personally, if I was running the show, I'd have went female again. But as I was telling you for quite a long time, if you remember, that if the next Doctor after Jodie was not going to be the typical British white male. You're not going to be Caucasian or Caucasoid or any way, because once you've broken that barrier, you want to keep trying something new and something different and bring different aspects to the character, because the first female Doctor was a complete change around. Oh yeah, I think Ncuti's going to do very well. I don't have a doubt in my mind. I've never heard anything negative about the fella, and plus, yeah, the Disney Plus thing and all that went through. You know, like I said, these guys have been dictating you, or dictating to you, that the show's been a big failure. The whole Whittaker Chibnall era was a flop, and you got these talking heads, even on these news programs, you know, talking about how woke Doctor Who got and yada yada yada. And I love that saying they've come up with, "Go woke, go broke," because it doesn't make any sense. Because Doctor Who didn't do anything different that hasn't done in over 50, plus years. Yeah, it's about 5:26 in the morning here right now as I'm talking. Our clocks will be going back again for too long. I know there's from what I heard out here in the comment box, there is a bill running around to, get rid of daylight savings time. It's an outdated concept. It's no longer necessary. Yeah, I knew it was coming soon, and it just needs to go. There's no need for it anymore. Why should the whole planet get up an hour earlier for planting season or whatever it was? It just made no sense. Plus, we have several states here, in the U.S. that have already basically got rid of daylight savings time. I just can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I've read about it. They don't even practice it anymore. And like I said, it was pretty handy for back in the day, but come on, it's like, if you want more daylight, get up earlier. Sadly, though, it's because we're not mainly, we're mainly a service-based economy now. Well, far as we know, RTD and the gang at the BBC, whatever. Well, the BBC still retains control of the show. RTD and Julie Gardner and them over at Bad Wolf are co-producing it. And like I keep telling everybody, they're never going to let go of Doctor Who. It's not going to happen. Just like Fox won't let go of Firefly, even though it's been off the air for how many, over a decade, now, like 15 years or more now. I got to go look that up. And even though, they basically did everything they could to run that show into the ground. They aired the pilot episode last. They kept changing the schedule on it. And it felt to me like they just don't want to end up paying for the show. Just like to this day, people are still walking around spouting about the ratings on the original Galactica. The ratings on the original Galactica were damn fine for that era. It's just they didn't want to pay for it anymore. The network. They felt that for paying them, basically I think it was the equivalent of $1 million an episode to keep that show on. And they were, that's when they were cheaping out on a lot of things. You'll notice a lot of fighter scenes and all that were just reused from the movie and the original pilot and all that. And well, I liked Logan's Run, the movie. Michael York, Jenny Agutter, and was it Jenny Agutter? Okay, the name will hit me in about a half an hour. Because it messes me up because she played Jessica in that movie. And, the series had its moments, but it was way off from that movie. Now, there was talks for years, and fortunately it went into development hell. They're going to remake Logan's Run, and I don't want to imagine what it would come out like if it was made in the modern day. I haven't watched that movie in years, though, so I got to get around to watching it again. It just, there was a lot of good stuff in that movie for its time. A lot of, really interesting concepts. Tell me about it. I'm going to be 52 next year. All right, so as far as Doctor Who goes, they're never going to let it go. BBC's not going to ever sign off on that show. It's like I said, contrary to what you've been hearing on other channels, it's still one of the BBC's biggest cash cows. I think it brought them in more than 50 million pounds or something like that last year alone. I don't even think that's full figures. The only time they were hang on a second. I was just calculating again on top of my head. Yeah, Doctor Who is still making plenty of money for the BBC. A lot of people have been asking about how's this going to affect Big Finish, and I'm like, it's not going to. Big Finish is its own independent entity that has a license to produce Doctor Who from the BBC. Okay, so it's probably not going to affect them at all. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking that question. I'm like, no, they're their own thing, but they have a license to produce Doctor Who. They've had licenses to produce other shows way back in the past. I think around the time they were first out and running, they were doing like Stargate, Knight Rider, Highlander, the series. We're on audio with them. Heck, recently, like I said, a little while, about a couple years back, I was lucky to get my hands on their Destroyer series for graphic audio. That was for graphic audio. That's where it was the Destroyer. Because they got that years ago, graphic audio, but that's graphic audio. I got it mixed up there. BBC, like I said, the Big Finish guys, they were doing a lot of different series. Doctor Who just been chugging along now. Hell, they've been doing Benny Summerfield since they first started at Big Finish. So, hang on. Wow, thanks a lot. I haven't even seen Black Adam yet. I've been meaning to get around to it. Also, Dr. Fate, didn't it turn out that was a title that just got passed around? That there was a new Dr. Fate every so often? I could have swore I remember, hearing or reading it, or what do you call it? No, I think that was in one of the animateds. DC animateds, they talked about that. Besides, Dr. Fate was pretty much their knockoff of Doctor Strange. Oh yeah, word is Stargirl's now been canceled. So the DC universe on TV is slowly fading to extinction. Flash is having one more season, then they're done. And then that's it for that. So the Arrowverse, as it was, is pretty much going to die, which is a shame because they did a lot of stuff. Those shows went a lot further than even I anticipated. So, Peacemaker, yeah, I love Peacemaker. Speaking of that, I just looked at the time. I have got to get inside. So, take care, everybody out there. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see y'all in the future, more than likely, and hopefully. Remember, be kind, be calm, be safe today, and enjoy the rest of your day, because I got to run. All right, take care, everyone.